And good morning on this marvelous Saturday morning. We're about to get to it and have some fun today talking Marvelous Talk with your favorite partners, Big G and Max. How y'all doing today, man? How are y'all?
Doing good. Can't complain. Gonna see Morbius later, so a little nervous.
You're a little nervous.
Just a little nervous.
We're going to get into
Max,
that.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Oh, Lord, I'm going to tell you, y'all both sound very enthused to be here this morning, but definitely I hope everybody else is enthused to talk a little bit of marvelous stuff with us. If you like the content that we are sharing, make sure you thumbs up, you like it on Facebook. We have 2 Facebook pages. Make sure you get on that A Marvelous Talk Facebook page. And also make sure you like and subscribe on Twitch and YouTube so you'll get all of our notifications when we do go live. Definitely going to jump into the show right after this. And welcome back. Man, definitely what I want to start with, man, off the rip. The new episode, of course, first episode of Moon Knight has just premiered on Disney Plus on Wednesday. If you hadn't saw it, you're late. What's wrong with you? Should have already done went to see it. Now, my hype was not Max and Big G's hype. Max and Big G were over the top hyper about the things that they were seeing, which is good. But there was some Easter eggs in there. And definitely I want to talk about one. Sean's favorite character, Big G's favorite character. I mean, oh my gosh, Big G goes off for years and years. And I don't understand why he loves this guy so much. I mean, he loves this guy as much as I love Batman. And, of course, my love for Batman can be brought into question. But Dr. Doom, Victor Von Doom. The Easter eggs there. Did you guys catch it first time around, or did y'all have to watch it again to see it? What about you, Max?
I had to watch it again. I'm not gonna lie. I do not have Big G's eagle eye when it comes to Easter eggs all the time. So I missed that one a little bit. So I saw it again, and I think the hype is worth it for that one specifically.
Yeah, man, it was. I think so too. And what about you, G? Did you catch it the first time, or did you have to see it the second time to get it?
I caught it the first time. I actually heard the information. People were talking about it in the rabbit hole, talking about that Moon Knight was going to lay down groundwork to introduce Victor Von Doom into the MCU. They was hyping this up about a month ago when they were showing screenshots of the actual trailers, and then they was like Von D in the back of the cupcake truck. I'm about 75% there, believing it. I don't know if it's Lavathia that they're showing and that castle, the Castle Von Doom that they're showing. It looks real close. I mean, I saw closed caption from the comic book to actually closed caption shots of the picture in the show, and I mean, they look. I mean, if it's not, they're going to have some serious explaining to do because it looks.
And you got to think about this. Why? They're so meticulous on every shot, right? So they catch everything on every shot. Why put it in there if they weren't trying to hint to Victor Von Doom? And then to make the countryside look just like that and to give us that shot of Steve running away, you know what I'm saying? And you see the castle in the back. And why even be at the castle? Why even start at the castle? So like I said, I think this is the transition, the way that you can kind of begin to start mentioning characters and bringing them in without actually bringing them in, which would be super dope.
Well, the folklore about this is this, and from the comic book standpoint, right? The folklore is that Victor Von Doom's mother and father were the controlling entities of the region or the area where Von Doom grew up at, and that they was tricked by Mephisto. And Mephisto, they had like a cult following, and when Mephisto tricked them, then all this other stuff happened. He actually tricked and killed Victor Von Doom's dad. So all this other stuff happened, and eventually Von Doom used technology and magic from the same point or location as the castle as to create all this other stuff that he created. And that's how he became Victor Von Doom. So I could see Kevin Feige sort of taking the liberty of flipping it and saying, okay, because you see there's a cult following already with the character with the scales on his arm. So it could be like something bad's going to happen. There's a cult following. People have already bought into this whole ideology of having a dictator control their area. And now Von Doom's going to be born out of this. So you can sort of see it like with Kevin Feige taking the liberty to play back and forth with comic book stuff. But I just know that the shots from the castle and the village that's below is head on, dead on from what you see in the comic book. That's what I know for sure, without a shadow of a doubt.
And so, Max, let me ask you a question, because you're very cerebral on these things, man. Why do you think that we would even introduce Doom during this time? What's the reason to introduce Doom during Moon Knight?
I think when you have such a big comic book character and a guy who can do so many things, you kind of just have to inch towards him. You can't just drop him off in the middle of a movie and be like, this is Dr. Doom. And it's like, just imagine there's a Fantastic Four movie and Dr. Doom's in it. He's going to get maybe 35 minutes of screen time. Where here he might get some 35 minutes in this series, and that's just going to preference the movie he's going to appear in or whatever he's going to be in. And Dr. Doom, for me, is one of those type of guys where he's a schemer and he could change everything in the MCU with some of his schemes. For instance, he could potentially make the Avengers look bad, or he can make the X-Men be on the Sentinels hit list for like some of his actions he does. And that's what is so crucial, to introduce him slowly. So the casual Marvel fan who doesn't know much about him understands, oh, dude, this is what this guy's about. Just like how they did with King the Conqueror,
right?
Or the one who remains,
Right, remains. Yeah, and I think you're spot on with that, bro. I think you're definitely spot on with that. Because honestly, when you think about it, Doom is he is a schemer. I mean, the boy done did some dirt. I think he may be the most evil. I think he may be the most evil, maniacal villain in the MCU. For real. Like he's done.
Without a doubt, man, it ain't even close. It ain't even, what I'm telling you, it ain't even. I mean, I'm a comic book head, man, and there's not a larger schemer or maniacal villain than Victor Von Doom. And Victor Von Doom fights everybody. I think that's one of the reasons why I like it. Victor Von Doom's like, okay, Avengers, they mean nothing. You know, you can switch your team 15 times, bring in your most powerful guys. I'm still gonna wipe you out. X-Men, got you. Ain't no issues. You know, he switches off, and everybody's the enemy. Anything that's against him and him controlling his land and his region, and then having world dominance, and then dimensional dominance, and then multiverse dominance, and him being the man, there's nobody that's off limits. He will take you out. I mean, Victor Von Doom schemed the Beyonder. He schemed the Beyonder and got his powers to be able to create his own universes, man. This dude is Victor Von. I think that's why I like him, not because I identify with him, but I'm like, if you're going to have a big bad in the comic book or in the MCU, he's the ultimate big bad. There's nobody that can touch him. Not to me.
Max, what was that laugh about?
I'm just saying, Sean, you can identify him. I'm not going to judge you because I could see some things that you already have in common with the dude. But
wow.
I'm saying, catch Sean in a pre-production meeting of the show. It's just like, okay. Yeah. Yes, sir. Dr. Sean Von Doom.
Dr. Sean Von Doom. Yeah. And so, and here's the deal. And to Max's point, and I know G can kind of back me up on this. They do. Moon Knight and Doom actually do cross paths in the cartoon, in the actual comic book land. And he ends up beating Moon Knight by tricking him tricking him on the power, telling, "Hey man, I could cure you. I could make sure I take care of this." Doom. If it's one thing that Fox got right, Doom was always good at convincing you that he can do something, only it was a hook and a crook. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna help you on one side and hurt you on the other. That's just him. He can't handle himself. I don't know what it is, but man.
Well, I don't like your statement.
Did you guys know in the comic book that the artifact that Von Doom and Moon Knight fight over is the actual scarab that you see in the Moon Knight show? That little scarab thing, that's the actual artifact that Von Doom and Moon Knight fight about in the comic book.
Well, and Max, what were you about to say?
I said, I don't like your comment that Fox got anything right because they suck. If you want to transition to what we're going to talk about, because they suck. Yeah, I stop myself from cursing.
Yeah, well, that was a great transition. Actually, man, it was a great transition for real. Because when you think about it, we were about to talk about Morbius and the negative reviews that Morbius has been getting. There's only one of us on this panel that's actually seen Morbius. The other two, listen, I'm not so. If you think about it, this movie trailer has been out for how many years? 2?
About a year and a half.
So did we see all of what we were going to see in the trailer? Like from all of the reviews I'm hearing is it doesn't have direction. And
great.
Definitely
what a great quality for a movie not to have direction. I feel so bad because I'm going to go see it later today. And I told my fiance, I was like, what if this movie's not good? She's like, I don't know. We'll see. And I was like, I already know it's going to suck. I'm just like walking her into it, man. I feel so bad.
Well, listen, I'm happy that you're walking her into it so that she won't be disappointed when she goes.
Yeah. Trying to preference it a little bit.
Yeah, my God. Gee, so all we have is the negative reviews to go off of without spoiling the movie for Max and the rest of our listeners. What did you think, about, let's see, can you confirm what the reviews said about it being lackluster? Because it got a 19 on Rotten Tomatoes, right?
Are you serious?
Right. I understand that. Yeah, it did.
It had a 19 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not going to spoil it, but I can say this, that have you ever had, it's hard to say, but it's just a scenario. Have you ever been in a relationship where one party was done and the other party just never wants to let go? Even 15 and 20 years up the road, when you see each other, they still feel like something can be rekindled as far as the relationship is concerned.
Sean, please stop talking about us on air. Please.
That's how the Sony universe is doing to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They won't let it go. They won't let it go. And they keep tying themselves. It's like a loop, right? You're thinking, okay, this is going to be the last one. They're going to cut ties. They're finally going to give all the power over to MCU and Kevin Feige, let them do what they need to do. And they just keep looping themselves back in. That's what the post-credit scenes and all that stuff is. They're going to loop themselves right back in. And you're going to be like, no, why? Why are they doing this? No. And I understand that they're trying to make money. And I know that they have a golden egg in Spider-Man. I know that. They're never going to let Spider-Man go 100%. That's their golden egg. They're going to just keep looping it back in. But at the same time, they are destroying the ability to actually create a good story for a character that could do an outstanding job in the MCU. We know to an extent we have to have Morbius tie in some fashion because he's a member of the Midnight Suns. So that's the deal with the movie. I give it a 2 out of 10.
I don't think we're going to get Morbius at all. I think Morbius is going to be one of those characters that we won't get in the MCU at all. I don't see it going. that way.
Trust me and believe. I'm telling you, we will.
I feel like with Morbius, though, he was going to be the introduction to a whole new like sect of comic book character in like the MCU, Sonyverse, Foxverse, whatever you want to say.
Yes,
he's a vampire. We haven't had any vampires, and those guys play a big role. And it's like without vampires, you don't get Blade. You don't get Ahmad's favorite superhero movie of all time, Wesley Snipes' Blade.
Right.
So,
well, hey, y'all better stop making fun of Blade. Blade has saved what we know as the. If it was not for Blade, there would not be a MCU. You know what I'm saying? Blade was the money maker for Marvel so that they could actually get up on their feet and start making really good movies. So research me on that. At me on that. I don't care. TikTok, you at me and on IG, you can at me. I don't care. I'm telling the truth. It is what it is. If it was not for Blade, we would not have the MCU the way that we have it, period. It is what it is. And Wesley Snipes.
Right. I'm not. No. I'll give Wesley Snipes some credit. The series was actually very good, right? However,
who you think did it?
You're destroying
Chris Christopherson.
No, listen. Your opinion is you're destroying Blade based on him being recasted. It's not the issue that you're destroying the character.
We've already got over that.
Recasting of it.
Big G, we already got over that. I said I'm gonna give Mahershala a chance. I said I'm gonna give him a chance. I told you, based upon To Wong Fu, I gotta give Mahershala a chance. I got to. You know what I'm saying? I gotta give him a chance. It is what it is. Wesley did To Wong Fu, so I have to give Mahershala a chance.
Correct.
It is what it is.
And Mahershala is actually going to be a great Blade. He's actually going to be a great Blade.
I hope he gets big like Jonathan Majors got big for Creed. Oh my gosh. I mean, what are these guys doing, man? But I guess if that's my only job and I just have to go to the gym and transform my body, yeah, I guess I could do that too. But man, Jonathan Majors has gotten huge.
Jonathan Majors, who are you talking
about? Jonathan Majors, who is King the Conqueror.
He was in Creed?
Yeah. Absolutely.
He's in Creed.
Jonathan Majors, really.
Oh, Creed 3.
He's in Creed 3.
Yeah,
and they sent some pictures of this guy to me the other day, and man,
yeah, Michael B. Jordan is huge. Michael B. Jordan is like transformed his body. He's huge.
Yeah, Jonathan Majors right now looks like a freaking action figure, and look, they can use that in the MCU because everybody's muscular and ripped in the MCU. But listen, don't just listen to our critique of Morbius. Go watch it yourself. Spend the money. Go watch it yourself.
You know what? No, don't spend your money. Just wait for it. Don't go see the movie. Don't give them any hope to make another one of these trash pictures. I'm so pissed off. I have to go see this movie today. I don't even want to go see it. I'm so annoyed.
But Max,
wait a minute. Max, what has you so annoyed? Let's talk about that.
We have too many good superhero movies for them to make garbage.
Right.
That's like I don't even. That's like me saying, "Oh, I suck at a video game." There's so many videos out there for me to get better now. It's not like it's 2001 where all we have is word of mouth.
Right.
They just suck.
You can put a YouTube video in and learn how to play Madden and become a monster.
Yeah, what I don't understand is how you have $100 million and you make trash.
Right. But I'm telling you, like I said, I'm not ruining it. But what I promise you, they're going to loop it in, and you're going to be like, "Oh God, here we go again." They're going to loop it right back in.
So I think I side with Max on this one, man, and I side with him because not only did you have that budget, you actually had time. You had time to go back and recut the movie and make it something different. You could have reshot some stuff. You know what I'm saying? You had time.
You can't reshoot the whole movie.
I mean, it's not about reshooting the whole movie. You can take some cuts and make it better. You know what I'm saying? You can take some cuts and make it better. You can say, okay, let's take this out and let's do this, let's do that to kind of make it be cohesive with the universe that we're in. One thing they said that they weren't tying him to any Spider-Man. They said they weren't tying him. I mean, but Morbius is tied to Spider-Man. So why we don't have that? I mean, I don't know. It's to me at this point, Max, I totally 100,000% agree with you. dude, stop making bad movies, man. Just stop it. But they not, because of what G said. Guess what? Like Deion Sanders' song, old song, must be the money. It's the money, man. It's the money that's keeping them from making, and they making these horrible movies. I mean, for real. But kind of switching gears and downshifting, we've got this segment that we've been doing where we're talking about casting in the MCU, and we're talking about the characters that have been cast in for movies, and we're kind of retroing these things, and then we'll kind of catch up as we go. Today's movie we're going to talk about the casting is Thor. So let's get started. Max, you take the floor.
Well, I think you should start with Thor. Chris Hemsworth. Do we like him? Do we love him? Honestly, after 2 movies, I would have said he's okay. And then the third one, it was like, yeah, they made the right call. So I would honestly say got off to a slow start for Thor.
So I second that emotion. I definitely second that emotion because when it comes down to it, my favorite Thor movie is Ragnarok. But I love a lot of Thor's wittiness. I love his humor, and then not only that, when we're talking about his wittiness and we're talking about his humor, I think they bulked him up, and he really looks like Thor. He doesn't look like Dolph. You know what I mean? He looks like Thor. So I agree. What you think about it, G?
Well, the thing about Thor that's sort of unique outside of the other MCU characters, in my opinion, is that he's continued to accelerate or climax. You have Thor movie, then you had him in the Avengers, then you had him in Thor Dark World, then you had him in Avengers Age of Ultron, and then the story goes on. And it seems like every time, and then we had his own solo Ragnarok, and it seems like every time we get an on set or on-screen appearance of Chris Hemsworth, he gets better as a character. So I'm super, super excited to see him in Love and Thunder, because I don't think that he's going to pinnacle at Love and Thunder. I think moving forward, you're ultimately going to see the Chris Hemsworth character move into like that Odin-like position as far as the Norse gods are concerned. Because now Odin is gone, he has to. So Asgard has to have an Odin. They're setting it up right now in the movies by saying that Asgard has to have a king. And that's sort of what the Valkyrie role is going to play. But no, the actual terminology is Asgard has to have an Odin. And I think that Thor has been reluctant to know and realize, hey, I got to go to the crown. I got to go and be the king. I got to be Odin. And I think that you're going to eventually, as time goes on with the Chris Hemsworth character, maturate into becoming Odin versus being Thor, because he has to, according to the script and the line. So I think that's sort of how they've been taking their time with building him. So I love the casting of Chris Hemsworth, because I can ultimately see him be Odin versus be Thor. I
just like him saying, "Thank you, sweet rabbit." That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So what would you guys grade Thor? Like, would you grade Chris Hemsworth as Thor?
A+.
I give it like an A, because it started off slow. It wasn't like knock it out of a park as soon as it happened. And Sean, you were talking about Odin. What about Anthony Hopkins playing the part of Odin? And to quote Anthony Hopkins, once he puts on the outfit, there's no acting required.
I think that they killed the character. I mean, I understand where they were going with the story arc, and I think that they sort of like killed the character off. Like they let Odin go, right? And I don't think we got an opportunity to see him be built up. It's like the understanding what Odin actually means to the Marvel.
But that's the character arc. What do you think about the actual casting of the character?
Oh, it was 100 plus. That was might be the top 5 castings of all castings for a character. The only thing is that he's shorter, and if you know Odin from the comic book, Odin's huge. So he's like, he makes Thor look small. So he's a shorter guy, but the way they did the cinematography and made him always look like he was bigger than Chris Hemsworth and all whatever else. And as far as the visual, facial, like from here to here, they was 150% on it. That is a great character.
I think Anthony Hopkins you can't go wrong casting him for anything. You can cast him for a cereal commercial and he'll kill it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really is just as Anthony Hopkins. You know what I'm saying? He's a person that disappears behind the role he's playing, and that's the true test of an actor. If you see an actor and you see every time you see 50 Cent acting in something, you see 50 Cent.
Right.
You don't lose 50 Cent. Right. So when we're talking about actors, you have to see the actor, and Anthony Hopkins is good. My letter grade, A+. That was an A+.
Yeah. To be honest, Max, there's a few, and we'll talk about them as time goes on, that they missed. They flat out missed.
Well, I think they missed in one aspect of Odin. I would give it a B because I wish I got to see more of Anthony Hopkins. I wish he was more utilized in the movies. Because I swear to God, it was like every time I wanted to see more, he's like, Odin sleep. I was like, come on.
But he has to go into the Odin sleep.
No, I know he has to, but it's like he doesn't have to do it during the movie every time I want to see him.
Right.
And what is the Odin sleep? Let's talk about that real quick. What's the Odin sidebar? What's the Odin sleep, Max?
It's just Odin has to basically recharge his batteries. Odin needs a power nap because he'll basically die without it. Yeah. That's just simply put, just to make it quick and short and sweet. Sorry.
Yeah.
How long is the power? Is it the same power nap that they're taking in the underworld, where the power would power nap for 400 years?
No, it's 7 days. It's a 7-day sleep in Asgardian clock, right? But Asgardian clock doesn't line up with Earth clock. But it's 7-day sleep that he goes through, and all the different realms, big creatures come and attack to try to take over and take the helm. And that's why Thor comes in, and Thor has to defend Asgard and do all the stuff that he's got to do. While Odin is asleep. But Max is head on. He recharges his. He basically, because he's the tree that you see in all these Marvel universes, and the tree that connects all the different realms to each other. Odin's power is drawn from that tree, and that tree has to be revived, because if it doesn't, Odin will drain the power of the tree without giving you all the names or whatever. He'll drain all the power from the tree, because Odin represents both dark magic and light magic at the same time. And the dark magic will get too big and destroy the tree. So he's got to go to sleep to revive itself so the tree lives, so then therefore all the realms live. And that's what I'm going into a lot of, technical.
That next character.
We have Tom Hiddleston is Loki. This one, I got him to say it real quick. He's an A+. He had the best TV show in the MCU as to date. Even though Sean's going to disagree whenever something new comes out, he did it all. He encapsulated his chaos in his character. He's a jerk, but you also love him and root for the guy at the same time. And he's kind of doing the orphan thing, and I was adopted pretty well. To A+. Tom Hiddleston did a great job. He's going to carry on when everyone else is pretty much gone, except for Chris Hemsworth from the Thor franchise.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, G?
I agree. I mean, he's the only hero. He's the only villain that remains. All the rest of the villains are short-lived. Well, there's a big reason, because this guy can carry the chops for that character. He does an outstanding. I give him an A++. I think he's top 3 casting of MCU characters. Top 3.
So I like. I echo it. A+. It's like I'm handing them out. I like Tom Hiddleston. I like him. I think my affinity for him grew after the Hulk kind of just obliviated him.
Yeah.
He was like, I am a god. You are beneath me. Blah, blah, blah. That boy hauled him out. And, seeing that whole thing, seeing him go through that cycle and that change, I grew to love him even more, right? Because I started out really, disliking him, not like his casting, but he played his role so well. It's like Samuel L. Jackson in Django. He played his role so well, you hated him. You absolutely hated it. And Loki, he played Loki so well that I absolutely hated him, Max. I was like, yo, this, you get on my nerves. Like, what are you doing? Like, and then seeing him grow and see him mature and his character arc go through everything, you really, like you said, started to gain a heart for Loki. And you were like, man, you know, I know he gonna mess up at some point, but come on, man, you know, get it right, Loki, man, get it right.
I like that. So let's rapid fire a couple. What do you guys think of Renee Russo as Frigga?
Great. I give her a B. I give her a solid B.
I don't think she like went above and beyond, but she did her job. It's like, you know, you scored 8 points off the bench. Good job.
She plays a big role in Thor: Love and Thunder too. Just FYI.
What about Idris Elba as Heimdall? Again, I would go with C right here. I'll go with C. Not because Idris is bad, because I just feel like he was underutilized. I wanted to see more of Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I think maybe a B minus.
Time out. We can't. Just because you didn't see more.
No, because you just wasted Idris Elba on a part you could have just got someone to do and who was just okay.
But you still, Idris, that was Idris. Hey, man, B plus. I like Heimdall. I definitely do. I like how I like the roles he played in inside of all of the movies. I like when Thor was having the visions and he was talking to Thor, and then I like how he defended the people. You know, I won't give Idris an A plus or anything of that nature because I too wanted to see more of him, but I still have to give him a B plus.
Okay, what about you, Sean?
B minus, B minus. In order for Heimdall to be critical, you got to talk about the Rainbow Bridge. You got to talk about Asgard. They destroyed Asgard so fast, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, and he was just watching it.
Not pivotal anymore. You see what
exactly. Yeah, I feel like he kind of, when he got cast, he was like he wasn't who he was yet. Like he was still on the come up, and now he's like an A-list star, and he deserves like a better part. So it was just like a miscasting. Like you casted too good an actor in just a supporting role.
Right.
Yeah.
We have Natalie Portman as Jane Foster. Honestly, I'm so whatever about her. She's like a B. She's whatever's.
Well, okay. This is make or break for her.
Yeah, this will decide her like fate.
Love and Thunder, she's the one. I mean, we already all know she's Thor. We know she's Lady Thor. We already know that, right? So this could take her from being like B minus, C minus, all the way up to an A. It depends on what she does in this role.
Do you think she was better as Padme from Star Wars than she was Jane Foster?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
I think so. I mean, it's crazy that you asked me that question. You asked us that question because I really believe she encapsulated Padme. She played that role to perfection.
Yeah.
But
I got three more we can quick hit them.
I'm gonna be harder on y'all. I give her a C plus.
Yeah.
I give.
Well, I mean, B minus, C plus.
I'm gonna go too. It ain't no.
The reason why at some parts of the movie she was way too ditzy, especially in the first movie. I was like, what?
Once she saw his abs, she was like out. Her brain was just focused on those abs the rest of the movie.
You know what I'm saying? Like for real. Like, and then Dark World, she played all right. You know what I'm saying? All right.
But can I say this just real quick about just not her, but just all castings? I think that Kevin Feige learned a valuable lesson by starting off too slow in origin movies. When he went through that whole thing with the first Thor and the first Captain America and the first Iron Man, by the time what we have now with,
thank you,
like these guys getting Disney Plus series and laying out characters and like just going, all full out throttle with the character, I think he learned a lesson. So
I think he learned that lesson.
Sometimes we rank our stuff based on how slow MCU started out to like now.
Bro, I think he learned that lesson with Black Widow, and I don't think he's gonna ever make that mistake again. To delivering origin movies out of sync, you know what I'm saying, and then not putting enough into the development of the origin movie. I mean, because if you look at Shang-Chi was what I think the standard is going to be for origin movies moving forward. And even even so, if we look at Moon Knight, I think we're going to get a lot of his origin here in these next couple of weeks. Well, next character, Max.
All right, let's quick hit. We have 3 more to go, and we'll bunch these 2 up. We got Kat Dennings as Darcy Lewis and Stellen Skarsgård as Eric Selvig. I like him. I could do without her. She's like a D+ for me. He's a B.
Agreed. I'm just gonna go with you. Max, your grades are my grades on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then last one, we're gonna also have a part 2 and 3 of Thor. There's so many movies you can't just do one. So I primarily focused on Thor 1. So we went with Ray Stevenson as Volstagg. Solid C+. C+.
They haven't developed a character.
Yeah, I thought his performance was cool. He was all right.
They got to develop the character, you know.
But that's all I got for today. So we're gonna have to do a part 2 of Thor. Trying to kind of go in order with the MCU movies. So we might be something else next week.
Yeah, let's check that out. So we just got a new trailer today for Doctor Strange. Real quick, you guys, we've checked it out and we've looked at it. What did you think about seeing it today, Max? What was your takeaways? Did you catch anything new? Was there anything that caught your eye on this new trailer?
Honestly, if I was them, I would just stop releasing trailers. There's nothing more to be that you need to like hype up the crowd. Spider-Man is the best trailer for this movie with the multiverse. There's nothing else you need to do. You could just show Spider-Man and Doctor Strange again for the trailer of this movie. That's all you got to do. Like the hype's already there. There's nothing they can do to increase the hype unless they like release a huge spoiler, which they're not going to do.
Right.
What do you think, G? Was there anything new you saw? Because Max done already commented on that, but was there anything new that you saw in this trailer?
I'm going to go back and watch it in 8K and just see, but I saw them in that dark hole layer when I saw Wong power up, and then I saw whatever that creature was, and I got a theory about that, and then Wanda and all 3 of them against something. There's something real tough going on in that thing. And I also saw have the living tribunal staff, and now it powered up like a lightsaber. So I was like, man, what is going on, man? So it's like, I believe that there's no more hype, but now it's like really like the anticipation is like, oh, this movie's gotta drop. So I'm really excited.
I'm like Max, there's nothing else you can show us on this. You know what I'm saying? Unless you just go ahead and show us the movie. There's nothing else you can really show us, man. Second thing, we have Moon Knight episode trailer 2 that we will want to talk about a little bit, just briefly. We got about 3 minutes to talk about that. G, give us what you got.
Well, I've been on it. I don't know if Mod likes it so much. I think Max is in agreement with me that we're going to see a Ned. We're going to see the whole ideology of the elder gods. We're going to see some stuff tying to Bast, and this thing is great as far as a concept show and opening up another dimension for the MCU is all on it. Because I just picked up even in the second trailer where you're almost going to see the death of Mark Spector and being reborn, you know, and I saw that. So like this whole thing with Moon Knight, I'm just a firm believer that Moon Knight moving forward might be the most pivotal series for the MCU to maturate and spread out for phase 4 and phase 5.
Here you go, Max.
I disagree with the last point. I feel like Loki did a way better job of that, just when they're introducing this travel through multiverse and timelines and all that stuff. But the hype for episode 2, we're just got to strap in. I think they're gonna do, like you said, talk about the ideology of the gods, because it's all about ancient Egypt. Yeah. And whenever you talk about ancient stuff, you talk about the stuff that came, like the ancient gods in Egypt, the living tribunal. We're gonna see a bunch of deities pop up in the show, in my opinion.
Yes.
Yep. Well, you know, I'm just gonna say this. I think it shows like a movie. They've done a really good job on shooting it. It shows like a movie. I had to go back and watch it a second time. I gained a new appreciation for it again. Like I said, solid. You can't really argue what they're doing with it, and I'm excited to see how we're gonna end up in the very end, man. I'm definitely excited to see how we're going to end up in the end. But you guys, man, parting shots, man. What you got for me, Max?
You
Parting
watched
shot.
it twice?
I did.
I think, you know what else you should watch twice? Captain Marvel. You should give that another chance too. That's my parting shot to you, sir.
Yeah,
Listen.
You might get a new appreciation for the movie if you watch it twice.
Hey, but Max, I'm gonna tie to you as far as my parting shot. You have to, and for those that's out in marvelous land, you have to, because there's multiple different things getting set up. It's not just all about the multiverse. We got the Kree-Skrull War that's coming, right? We have Miss Marvel show that's coming, and we have the Marvels movie that is coming. All of this stuff ties to the Kree-Skrull War. Secret Invasion is also something else that's coming. So you got to give that foundational movie a shot, or you're not going to even understand what's happening between the Kree and the Skrull. You know, that's just me. So don't take Maud's idea about as far as what Captain Marvel actually was. She's pivotal with this stage of the Marvel MCU moving forward.
Okay. Anyway, like I was saying, I'm going to get off of that because I'm not going to see Brie Larson again. I don't want to see that movie again. I don't want to see the movie again. I just don't. I don't. There's nothing about the movie that interests me again. About only Samuel Jackson being at the end of it. Yeah, that's probably about, being in space. That's probably the only thing I want to see. My parting shot is this. We have a little slight delay in Obi-Wan Kenobi. And, I'm definitely, they pushed it back a couple of days. I'm definitely excited that we're going to get 2 episodes at the same time. I want it. I am super hungry and thirsty for this movie. For this series. I've loved Obi-Wan for a long time. Max does an awesome job of reporting on Obi-Wan news. And definitely, like I said, I'm so excited. I'm more excited about Obi-Wan at this point than I am anything in the MCU except Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
What about Morbius? I was more excited for the news that got delayed than I was about this Morbius movie coming out after I heard the reviews.
Listen, man, I can't do it, man. I can't do it. But look, if you like the content that you heard today, make sure you like and subscribe. Like on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Twitch. We are here for you and yours. Make sure you ask the questions that you're asking. Keep those questions coming. There's a couple that we need to answer from last week's show. We'll definitely get to those next week on Wednesday. Subscribe on YouTube and Twitch. Definitely you subscribe there. When we go live, you will be there and with bells on, and we could definitely get it in. For myself, for Max, for Big G, we out. We'll holler at you next week.